Hello and welcome to my video. My name is Dylan and I'm here to introduce a tier guide for SMITE. The only reason you will come to this channel is if you like SMITE anyway. So here's a build for tier. So the website I'm using is called Eli Ownage. It's a really good website for creating certain scenarios for your gods because it brings a lot to the table with abilities, how much damage your abilities do at certain levels, certain debuffs your god will have, loadouts, which is the items you'll be building, and whatnot. So you should definitely check them out. The link will be in the description if you want to check it out. And here we go. Yeah. So first of all, core items on tier, like your starting items. You will mostly start with bluestone, as I'll check now. Yeah, there we go. Start with this, 15 power, 100 mana, and the passive, really strong for the laning phase. So you put that there, and obviously you start with boots, tier 1 boots as well. So there, and then your usual pots. I won't put it here because the website doesn't allow me to. So yeah, that's your basic start for most ability-based warriors nowadays. Yeah, not much to say about that. And then we go into the core build, which will be warrior tabby. Look at the stats: 80% movement speed, 40 physical power. Let me just put that in there. And then this is where the build diverses a bit. So it depends how much money you will have on your back. Most of the time, like 80% of the time, I will go for a hide, because the passive is really strong. It gives you everything you need. It gives you magic power, magical protection, physical protection, mana and health, and an awesome passive as well. Or if you're a bit behind and you don't have enough money, you can get a breastplate, which is also good because it's the CDR, the physical protection, and the mana is really good. So I will put that there. And then if you want to get 40 CDR easily, you just get a Jotuns as well. Gives you everything you need. You will need a damage item in lane because you don't want to be full tank and just be useless. So you put a Jotuns in there. It's awesome. So yeah, this will be a standard build. Okay. So after you get these, we go into the damage items. So damage items on tier. There's really, personally, I think there's only 3 items you can get on tier if you want more damage. The first one is Titan's Bane. So Titan's Bane gives you physical power as well, and it's the passive that's really strong, which is all your physical attacks gain 33 physical penetration, which is good. Because tier doesn't have the best scalings, so this item will increase your overall damage if you get it. Another one I really like, especially this season, is Ancile. Or Ancile, I don't know, many people pronounce it differently. Ancile, 10% CDR, 25 physical power, 40 magic protection, and it's the passive that really gets me. You gain 0.5 physical power for every 1% health missing. I think this is really strong on warriors who not necessarily get bursted down, but you're in the fight a lot, so you're gonna be like below 50% of the health, 50% health most of the time. So you would dish out way more damage if you have this item on. I personally like this item on Hercules because Hercules is just a beast. You know, I really like Hercules, but this is about tier anyway. And last item, which I think got buffed for tier, is Brawlers Beatsticks right here. Brawlers Beatstick, 40 physical power, 20 physical penetration, and enemies hit by your abilities have 40% reduced healing and regeneration for 8 seconds. The reason I really like this item on tier now is just because the fact that they changed it from basic attacks to abilities. And really, late game with tier, his basic attacks do hit hard, but buying this item late game last season was not really that effective because you rarely basic attack. You really mostly spam your fearless and cleave and stuff like that. So when they changed this to abilities, I was really excited because I thought this would be an awesome item on tier. So yeah, you can throw that in there. Okay, so down to situational items, and I think the best situational item in the game right now is Bulwark of Hope, which is right here. So the website hasn't updated it because it also gives you crowd control reduction, but it's obviously it's 60 magical protection, 200 health, and 20% crowd control reduction. It's not here. And then the passive is when you take damage when you're below 30% health, you gain a shield equal to 150 plus 15 player level. This occurs once every 60 seconds. But what they didn't say in the passive is that the shield lasts pretty much until the shield wears out. So if you're in a fight and your shield pops and you get out with the shield on, the shield will actually stay on even though you return to base and heal. The shield will stay on as like an extra bit of health. So it's a really good item. I personally really like it. Another defensive item, situation item we get was Gauntlet. This item, I don't really build it that often because it's really mediocre. People that play tier in other elos really like it because of the healing, the passive healing, which is really good for your stance when you heal. I've tried it a bit. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but it's really good if you're behind because the amounts of heals you'll get from the minions will be insane, and your lane opponent won't be able to pretty much like kill you if you go for the minions, so you won't be punished as much if you go for the archers or something like that. Okay, next item, Wingblade. Wingblade is really, it's quite simple. It's a really good item at the moment. You see supports get this first item even before their boots because it's really strong. When hit by a slur, you are immune to slurs and movement speed is increased by 20% for 4 seconds. Only occurs once every 30 seconds. The stats here, I think they're different. I think it's 10% attack speed, 10% movement speed, but it's also 20%, I'm not sure, 20% or 10% crowd control reduction. It used to be CDR, but then they changed it in the latest patch, with the Raijin patch. And then the last one I will mention is Midgardian. Really, I think this is really one of the best defensive items against AD carries or basic attack oriented gods. So 30% physical protection, 350 health. When hit by a basic attack, there's a 30% chance to slow your enemy's movement speed and attack speed by 30% for 2 seconds. It's really good, especially for gods like Kali, Ao Kuang, and any hunter really. It's really strong because it like slows them down a bit and their damage is overall DPS is reduced. Yeah, that's about it. So in a normal game, if I'm ahead, for instance, I will get a warrior tabby, then I will get a hide. Let's put that in there. So we'll get a hide. Then I'll get a Jotun. I don't know. Yeah, so Jotuns, and I would get 1 damage item. So between the 3, it just really depends on what my position is. If I see that their mid laner or their magical carries are fed, I will get an Ansile. So you throw that in there. And then I would get a situational item. So I'll get like either, it just depends really. Situation items really depend on how the game's going really. Oh, pardon me. So if it's more physical gods that are doing damage to you, you won't get an Ansile obviously. You get like a breastplate because it will make you more tanky against them and stuff like that. It's just really down to the situation of the game and what you think will be best for you with the situational items. But core items, I think every game you should have a hide, Jotuns, a breastplate, warrior tabby. That's standard. I don't think any other build path will be really viable right now, but I personally think this is the best build for tier at the moment. If you guys have any other ideas, you could leave a comment in the below. And yeah, I also have a guide for tier. If you haven't seen it, I've mentioned it a lot. I'll also put the link for that in the description as well if you want to check it out. And yeah, Feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao.